the Caribbean as slaves. I am the current generation of the indigenous people of the Caribbean who formed a unified tribe with these African slaves because they saw them as people, even though the Europeans, the colonizers, told them otherwise. My grandmother, both of them, they have documentation that Trinidad and Tobago gave them to acknowledge this history. But they tell me that this certificate means nothing to me because I don't need a document to tell me who I am. My complexion and my skin color signifies my history. My hair shows growth and strength. It shows where I came from. It shows the blended culture of the Africans with the indigenous people in the Americas. But Black people, African people, our history did not start 400 years ago. We have been here since the beginning of time. In Africa, we were architects, artists, dancers, singers, philanthropists, priests. What we did contributed, what our ancestors did, contributed to what the world has now in every field and in every aspect. But that is the history they don't want us to know. They want us to think that Western culture is where we got all our innovation from. But the way we live and what we have, the advances that we have, come from Africa. Who we are comes from Africa. Africa is our motherland. But they only want to teach us that the only thing Black people are, or the only thing that we have to offer, was the civil rights movement and slavery. And those are two big aspects of who we are that we will not forget. But you will not take away from our people. You will not taint our image. You will not try to diminish our contribution to the world. So I am so grateful to be able to be a part of this day because we can't go forward with Black Lives Matter without acknowledging who we are and acknowledging our ancestors. Because every day we go forward, we are spiritually tied to them, like I said, with our skin color. Their story that people don't want us to know, but our skin color is a reflection of their story. Our hair is a reflection of their story. Our culture is a reflection of their story. And that is something that they will not take away from us. And that is something we are here to do specifically, to teach. Because you won't hear this in textbooks. You won't hear that our people were kings and queens, that they were powerful. Because they make us think that when you associate Black people, it's always oppression. That's what all these people are. They have nothing to offer but their sob stories. But we are so much more, and that's why we're here. Yeah. Because we need to acknowledge why we are so much more, because of our African ancestors. So I again would like to thank you, and just hold solidarity, and have a sense of seldomness. I'm not sure, is that a word? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And while we march and as we continue, because we're holding their spirit within us right now. And so yeah, because this is a vigil. This is a time of remembrance. So I would like to thank you for all being a part of this. And now we have our next speaker, Joy. Joy is a poet and a symbol of Black art and Black culture.
I love you guys. But more importantly, I love my ancestors because they gave me the hair texture and they gave me my colors. And you can't take that shit away from me. So I wrote a letter to my ancestors because, you know, living in the society, they try to disconnect. They tried so hard to disconnect. Growing up in school, they tried so hard to disconnect my color from who I am because I'm whitewashed. Why do I speak English? Why do I look like this and speak English? And if I speak another language, I look down upon. Why did I feel the need to straighten my fucking hair? When I was 11 years old, why am I waking up every morning trying to fucking straighten my hair? Like, I don't know, there's a lot of questions, but I'm just gonna read you this quick letter I wrote to them. It's actually not done, I'm gonna improvise. Dear ancestors, I am with you regardless of the paperwork. Regardless of the fact that my last name is my slave owner's last name. I'm sorry you used to perm my hair. I don't wear makeup because I want you to be seen when people look at me. I'm trying to connect. I want people to see you through me. I promise I'll never put heat to my hair again. They try to say that they try to say a lot of shit. That's where it ends, but what I want to say is like I'm trying to get through this. Oh, sorry, I remembered what they try to say. They try to say that when we get connected through them, through spirituality, that we're doing the work of the devil. But I'm trying to connect to the people that I originated because you people are not my savior. I do. Thank you.
Next we have Jonathan. Okay, so hello. Wrong side. So I carry with me everywhere I go in my book bag, an article published by the Daily News back in 1963. The article is incredibly important to my life, but also the Black Lives Matter movement and this movement going forward. The title of the article reads, Fast Rising Cabinet Top Negro of Housing Police. For those of you who don't know what Housing Police is, it is a law enforcement agency that ran up until about 1995 before it merged with NYPD. As you read on, the article talks about or highlights the accolades of this person, but also minimizes his achievements by saying things like it was highly unusual for a person of color to rise up so much and so fast. Oddly enough, the person that they refer to in this article is my grandfather, Robert McKay. I didn't really know anything about my grandfather's history or what he encountered in his younger years until his death when I found this article. And I found it and I was so angry and sad because he never talked to us about any of this. Instead, he always referred to his history as something of only the past. We move forward from things like this, or so he said. But I stand here today, and now as a proud member of the LGBTQ and Latinx community, knowing that history has a tendency to repeat itself. And in knowing my roots, I want to help stop that. My work over the last 9 years has been about raising awareness on sustainability-related issues and how we can hold those accountable on both corporate and community level. It's known as social responsibility, and that includes climate change. I'm sure most of us here have heard about climate change, but climate change is so much more than the Earth just getting a few degrees warmer.
direct correlation between climate and racial injustice. We call it environmental racism. Environmental racism refers to the environmental risks that are disproportionately allocated to Black, Indigenous, and communities of color. That's because these communities often live closer to major sources of environmental pollution and lack the sustainable resources that help communities thrive. And climate-conscious organizations have not included racial justice as core elements of their mission. So how does this work? It could be things like Cancer Alley in St. James, Louisiana, where it's home to a concentration of petrochemical plants in predominantly Black communities. Or it could be the lack of clean water, like we've seen in Flint, Michigan, the water crisis. Or it could be the air pollution ratio, where studies like the Union of Concerned Scientists found that Black communities in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic regions of the U.S. breathe 66% more. I'll repeat that, 66% more pollution than white Americans. And in 2017, the New England Journal of Medicine published a study that had shown that Black communities are 3 times more, again I'll repeat that, 3 times more likely to die from exposure to small particle air pollution than the general population. So let it be known, polluting our planet means first polluting communities that are considered less than. Polluting our planet means first polluting communities that sometimes don't even know it. And polluting our planet means first polluting communities that often don't have a say. Climate activism and Black Lives Matter, and yes, that includes Black trans lives. Go hand in hand. Research, science, and the outcry of our communities year after year from the very beginning of time back to our indigenous roots have proven that we cannot have one without the other. So please, in this movement going forward, keep environmental racism a part of the conversation.
Next, we're going to have sorry.
Alright, I'm going to be all over the place. They come here with a structured speech. But I would like to start off in a way that a friend of mine would like to start off. I am a woman. I am a Black woman. I am a Black Afro-Latina woman. I am a Black Afro-Latina trans woman. Last time I checked, I am a woman. I wanna focus my speech on a call out to my community. Because standing here and seeing a crowd that I can probably count with 2 hands, angry. Because for too long we've been oppressed as a community, as a society, as a Black culture. And we often did that in our houses, at home. And we complain about what we do to us. And we complain about the brutality. About Black Lives Matter, because we don't show up to cheer and support one another as a Black transgender. As I'm calling out my trans sisters, come and join me to meet us here every Thursday at 4. March with us. Come up with a step. Have your voices heard. Because until we show unity amongst ourselves, we will always be a together, stick together, not let out. It seems like every Thursday that I am out on a book that I have a little joke with the friend called say, girl, you're out there, bitch. And yes, the answer is that you must not let out. You must always and that's what we come and stand with us. Because when 5 girls are tired, there should be 5 other girls that's ready to march and continue this. As a community, we will go nowhere without unity. We need to stop the bickering, the fighting amongst each other, amongst ourselves, the kindness. For our leaders, for our trans leaders out here, that mean very well, but destroyed with their actions. The actions of selfishness. To want to stand alone and think that this movement is a one-woman band, and it's not. It is not a moment, it is a movement. This movement shall not go anywhere without all of us telling our story. Not one person can do that. We need our community here with us. We need our community marching with us. We need our community. So again, I call out. Meet us here every Thursday at 4 o'clock. Stand up, don't be shy, speak up. To the Black community, there's ways of approaching situations that could possibly go wrong. When you're being harassed by police, instead of angering up and speaking back and fighting back and possibly getting shot and killed, go home, think about it. Grab a paper and pen. Write out what you want to say. Call your local legislators. Call these people. There is a way that your voices can be heard without Jim State and without us getting killed. For everyone, for everyone who I So for everyone who heard my speech last week and called out to Andrea as cousins, I thank you and urge you to keep calling, don't let out, keep calling until they bring this to a vote. To come back in Albany, August, we must keep calling until we bring this to a vote. Repeal the Walkabout Trans now. Thank you again for having me. I am Tatiana Berman, CEO and founder of Bridges for Life, a new and upcoming organization that will focus its life on helping TGNC, youth, and Black trans sex workers exiting the foster care system with nowhere to go and helping them into adulthood. Keep an eye out for me as I'm coming to save my community.
Woo! So now we have my good sis Bobby to come up and speak. So I want to talk about 3 things. The first one is very brief. Can we just make some noise because today is Jamaica's Independence Day? Thank you for that.
why it's important for Black people to show up for things like this, or for everyone to show up for things like this. And something that is scary to some people, I want to talk about abolition. So first, I want to talk about the importance of like why I'm here and why I think it's important for people to show up to things like this, a remembrance, a time of reflection, a time of gratitude to our ancestors. Um, we are here. They ran so I could crawl. We ain't doing what they was doing, and um, I don't have the same courage they have. I have a piece of their courage. They embedded that in me, and it's important that you stay connected and stay grounded, whether you're spiritual or not. Find a way to connect to your ancestors, because that's why we're here, and that's why you're here in this space. Your ancestors put you in this space for a reason. You're capable of that. Talk to them. Ask them questions. Ask them, am I here? Is my head in the right place? Do I need a day, ancestors? Do I need to like sleep for a bit? They will answer you. They will speak to you. They will let the universe speak to you. Give them gratitude. Thank them for the bit of courage they embedded in you. Thank them for the bit of knowledge they embedded in you. Now to abolition. This is scary talk, right? I'm not scared of abolition. Abolition is the goal for me. A lot of these protests have reformative talks, and reform is a step towards abolition, but it's not the goal for me. I don't know what the goal is for you. Abolition, a common misconception of it is that it's just take away the hoops. That's it. Take away these systems that we have that criminalize us and beat us, and that's not all abolition is. Abolition is building communities. Abolition is about supporting your community. What do you need? What do I need? What do I have to offer to this community? What can I take away from this community? How do I enact radical love? How do I enact radical education? How do I enact radical joy? Stepping out the box, unlearning and learning things again. That's what abolition is. The system that we have in place now makes abolition look very scary. It makes it look like something that can't be obtained. And it's a lie. It's a lie. I'm here to tell you this is a lie. Abolition is going to happen. It's happening now. It's happening. I see it. It's happening. It's happening. When you go to these protests, I know you don't stay by yourself. I know you've met people, have built community, have built friendships, sisterhood. Some people have built sisterhood. I have people that I call now every day that I met at a protest. I have people that like come through enough to invite me to my home and meet my family from protests. We're building community. I have these contacts now that just call out, just to send them love, to send me love. We're building community. This is what abolition looks like. This is what abolition looks like. Love. Radical education. So I urge everyone here to one, get in tune with your ancestors. Get in tune with your spirituality. Whether it's identified or not, find that. Search that. What does that look like in your home? What does that look like for you? I'm Jamaican, and my family is very religious. However, they are also very spiritual. I categorize those as two separate things. Religion and spirituality are two different things for me. And my family is both. Spirituality has rules, but it doesn't. It's the heart. It's love. It's what you feel. It's how you feel. I feel very spiritual when I'm with my family in our house, having fun together, speaking about past things that my grandmother has gone through, has experienced, things that I do that she did as a kid, and I didn't even know. It's just like, oh my gosh, I experienced that too. And then we have this connection, this spiritual connection. So like, dig deep and find what that is for you. And also do research about abolition and what that looks like, and find communities that aspire for abolition. And when you're at these protests, and it's very reformative, and I have no faith in the system. That's why I'm an abolitionist. I have no faith in the system. Not one bit. Not even a little bit. Also do check some history of that. Why I have no faith in the system is because we fought for a lot of reformative actions. And look where we are now. Still trying to fight for reformative actions. So obviously that's not working. Obviously. So abolition, and we build a new world. We build a new world. We are what the new world looks like. We have conversations about that. We are all inclusive in this new world. We ask questions. We ask people's pronouns. We ask these things that were not being asked in the system that is built. We build around this box. Thank you.
Hey everybody, how y'all feeling? Hey, how y'all feeling? What's going on, y'all? My name is Queen Jean, and I am here for liberation. I am so grateful that you have all come out today to join us. Because we are here today to honor and remember our ancestors who've come across during the Middle Passage to America. We are here to hold space for them. So I would love if we could take this moment and look around. Look around at all the faces that are here. Look around at this community. The faces of people we do know and people that we don't know. But we are here today because we have understanding and love in our hearts. I want you to look to the person to your left and say, I love you. I want you to look to the person to your right and say, I will protect you. We must give this energy and spirit as we continue to march today. Because we have an understanding that we are here for liberation. And that liberation has to extend to each and every one of us. It is not something that is only for white people. It's for black people. It's for brown people. And especially for our indigenous community that for so long has been pushed out, pushed away from their own land. We have to honor and give reverence today. I am so thankful because we are here with our family. It is amazing to see continually, we see similar faces show up. Show us and provide. Show up and give us access. Show up and give us love, emotional support. Because it is not easy. We are now into the second month of the resistance movement. But we know that we are not going to get there alone. We must continually fight together and in tandem if we are ever going to reach liberation. So I would love to honor my sister Raquel Willis. So if you'll please recite after me. I believe in my power.
I believe in my power.
I believe in your power.
I believe in your power.
I believe in our power.
I believe in our power.
I believe in black trans power.
I believe in black trans power.
I believe in my power.
I believe in my power.
I believe in your power.
I believe in your power.
I believe in our power.
I believe in our power.
I believe in black trans power.
I believe in black trans power.
We are here today because we demand justice. Because Americans, African Americans in this country have been made small. Our stories have been taken from us. Our identity has been stripped from us. Our own language, our skin, continually becomes the problem. But I'm here to say that we are going to change that narrative. Because moving forward, we must be censored. Our black trans community must be censored. We have been here since the beginning of time. Today we are talking about history and our African American history. I don't know if you guys know of Frances Thompson. Well, we're going to educate a little bit today, y'all. The whole space. We are here today to hold space. Frances Thompson was a transgender black woman, a freed slave in 1866. She was raped along with 4 other trans sisters who were all free. She was raped and taken to jail. She went to court. She could read and she could write. She defended herself and her sisters for liberation. and to get justice for the men who raped them. Now, this is not a new story. Black women in this country have been raped again and again and again. And that has to end now. Now. Black women have been desired. Black women have been used like a rag. But you do not see them. You do not keep them in your hearts. You do not protect them. And for what? Because you're afraid? Fuck your fear. Fuck your fear! Black women in this country have fought since the beginning of time. Since the Middle Passage, having to give birth to a baby on a boat, chained and shackled. We know these stories. They've educated us, but they did not tell us the real story. So I ask you now to open up your hearts and to really receive that there is power here. There is power here. There is power here. There is power here because we are divinely made and created. We understand that black people are resilient people. Black people are joyful people. Historically, we have made cuisine from scraps. We've made cuisine from scraps. We've taken bits of oil, plants, and agriculture to create the very fundamental tools and the access that white people use today. But we don't give them that honor. We are here to return that honor today. As we march, I want you to keep in mind the black and brown ancestors who have fought for us to be here, who have given us liberty, life, and complete justice. We are here today to fight for their justice. It is time and it is overdue. My name is Queen Jean, and I believe in black trans liberation because liberation is everlasting. I thank you all for being here today. I know it's not easy. I know you guys have deals and things to do and other commitments, but I thank you for making us your commitments and your priority. We love to see you. Thank you. And thank you, sister.
I love this girl. Anybody who said I don't know, freaking liar. I love her very much. Okay? I miss them on the West Coast and I support her.
Let's give us some love!
So we're gonna start our march right now.
Okay guys, I'm gonna take the stream down. I just want to do it in 2 sections and I'll be right back up in like a minute so that there's a separate stream for the march.
Can they hear us?
So keep an eye out, it'll be up in a minute.